Okay, this video pertains to the little 3-axis CNC mill I'm working on. I've got some other videos I'm just throwing up on YouTube, and I'll go back and offload them later and do a little editing on them. But right now I just want to show the raw materials and where we're at with the system. So I've got everything wired up. I've got all the stepper motors put on, wired up. I've got we've got 16 millimeter, 5 millimeters per rotation, linear, on the ball screws. I've got those all lined up halfway decent. I say halfway decent because you can tweak on these machines. You really want these screws to turn very, very easy. And if they don't, that means a lot of your motor torque is going to be going towards just trying to move the gantries, trying to move the axis, rather than working on your actual part. And that's when you can miss steps and things like that. So all these need to be really smooth turning, pretty much effortless for the most part. That's when they're hooked to the motor even. So all the couplings are on. The motor wires are connected. I've got, I'm actually using Aegis chain flex, continuous flex chain cable. So the cable is actually really good quality. Now, I can say this is a little bit low budget, but for the size of the machine and using the Aegis flex chain cables, I don't see a problem with that at all. I'm more worried about performance and building the actual parts than I am making everything fancy right now. So I just kind of am working with what I have to work with, which is some pretty good stuff overall. And then we have the drivers here. So we have, I picked these up off of eBay like a lot of guys have. These were Wantai DQ 542 MA. They're just like, that's a generic driver for a lot of drivers that have those numbers in them. But the bottom line, these are basically 3 amps per drive, and there's no reason to even go up to that many amps. So I'm going to start out conservatively. Pretty much, if you look at the drives, the way they're set up is on the amp draw, it looks like you set your dip switches. So I'm going to start out with a fairly low amp. I don't want to go all the way up to 3 amps. So if you look at the current, they've got 4.2, and then the next row over on the RMS, they have 3.3 amps. So that's your actual RMS 3 amps if you go to the max setting. What we're going to do is I'm going to start with, I don't know if you can see this, I'm just doing this with my phone video, but I'm going to start at 2.36 amps. So that means dip switch 1 is going to be off, 2 will be on, and 3 will be off. So I'll set those, and then I'll fire the video back up, and we're going to actually run this thing today, believe it or not.